In this video, we're going to show you how you can make your own mottled effect ink pads using a baby wipe and a few ink refills to create a lovely mottled stamp design like this card from Stamping Up, which featured in Papercraft Inspirations magazine. All the stamps you need for this set are in the Piece This Christmas set from Stamping Up. The first thing we're going to do is make our ink pad. So you want to take your baby wipe and fold it over a few times, try and make it as flat as you can, and then taking some ink refills, you want to dip a few different shades around and about on the ink pad so that all the colours merge together. You can see they start to wick into the baby wipe and almost form a multicoloured stamping pad that you can then use. The colours that we're using here are Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz and Old Olive, which are all from Stamping Up. Now we're going to start by making the background paper that we need for our design. So stamping down there, you can see the colour we're getting on our finished stamps it's almost like a variegated colour palette. Okay, so I want to do some going over the edge of my background paper here, so I'm just going to put some scrap paper down to make sure that I'm not stamping onto my my mat. So here, some of the stamps are going off over the edge. We're going to use this piece as almost like a background paper in our design. So you want to just create an aesthetically pleasing pattern. Some of them I'm going to stamp the stamp twice without re-inking, because then you also get this sort of slight shadowy effect as well as the strong colour, and I think it helps to bring out the variegated colours in the stamp as well. Now you want to repeat the process again, stamping this time on a larger piece of cream card, and this time you want to stamp all the stamps separately with some space around them. We're going to fussy cut these out from the paper so you don't want them to overlap. These will then go to be built up to create the layers on the front of our card. Some of the stamps here I'm going to stamp twice, again without re-inking, to give me more of those more subtle shadow effect stamps, which will be nice in the mix in our finished design. Now you want to fussy cut out each of these individual stamps, leaving a small gap of only about 1 millimetre or less around the edge of each stamp. You need to use some really good sharp scissors here, and it's worth taking a little time because it really will make all the difference having neat cutouts in your finished card. Now we're going to stamp the greeting for the card. We're using this Peace, Joy and Love word greeting stamp, which is part of the Piece This Christmas set of stamps from Stamping Up. The ink we're going to use here, we're using a regular ink pad, and it's Garden Green ink. I'm attaching this onto the centre of the background paper panel we made earlier using sticky fixers to give it a bit of height. Now we're going to use that height to attach some of our cut out shapes, our fussy cut shapes we made earlier, both under and onto the top of the greetings panel. So I'm using a collal glue, but any kind of adhesive that dries clear is a good choice. You can attach some underneath to the back of the panel. If you want to stick them in place, you might just need to nudge them up to stick onto the back with a pair of scissors or some tweezers. You're building up the design as you go to create a wreath around your stamped greeting. Now we're going to add a final finishing touch to our card panel by adding some gold highlights to the design with these gold enamel accents from Stamping Up. I'm using some of the small gold gems to act as centre of the flowers or highlight some of the berries, or add little highlights onto some of the pine cones in the design. Really hope you enjoy crafting this card from Stamping Up from Papercraft Inspirations magazine.